Everybody running in front of them. Meanwhile, this is the second heat that we have got lining up. We've got Spinelli, we have got Speed, we have got Faust, and we have got Sandell lining up here. Now, let's have a look at the Ford Rallycross starting lineup. It's Tanner Faust in the black and yellow car. Patrick Sandell, he's second over from the left. Scott Speed on the far right-hand side, victorious, of course, in Brazil. And Giulia Spinelli, he's a man that I have commentated on before when I've been on the Dakar Rally in Africa and in South America, and a very, very accomplished rally raid driver. It's not as dusty here today, Jen.
Indeed, it is not dusty. I'm not sure how much experience he has in driving rain in Dakar, but if you look at that starting grid, again, we're looking at the diversity that we've got in the field. Giga is a rally raid competitor, Sandell from Rally, Faust is Formula Drift two-time champion, and Scott Speed, of course, from Formula One. Here we've got the whole diversity in the field represented right here on this one starting grid, and it's just going to come down to who gets through that first corner first and whether they can make some passes.
Well, we've had 4 Rallycross events at X Games, and we've had 4 different gold medalists. Tanner Faust back in 2010, Deegan in 2011, Sebastian Loeb, who can forget the World Rally Champion winning in LA just last year, and then Scott Speed, here he is on the grid here, winning in Foz do Iguaçu, and what a win it was, Jen. A man who was almost nervous about driving a car on the dirt for the very first time, and he came out with a gold medal. How did he do that?
I think he was maybe asking himself the same thing. When he came off the practice after the first practice session, he was just shaking his head and wondering whether, you know, I'm not learning anything, these conditions are crazy, how could I possibly race this way? Well, here we are. It was just a little bit of dust then. Now we've got pure muck, and it's going to be tough. There we are in the pits with Ken Block and Bucky Lasek talking in the pits, maybe discussing the weather conditions.
Yeah, and a nervous pace from even Ken Block, the man who knows a thing or two about sliding a car sideways. Wow, if you haven't seen Jim Carter, then have a look. Meanwhile, we're going to be under starters orders here in just a moment's time. Ford Rallycross here in Munich. Heat 2, Faust, Sandell, Speed, and Spinelli about to get underway. The revs rise as the lights come on. When the lights go out, we'll be racing here in Munich. Look at the power, 550 horsepower with these cars, and off the line they go. They charge down the first corner. It's going to be Tanner Faust who leads Scott Speed.
Tanner Faust is one of the best starters in the European Rallycross Championship. He can be counted on to get a great start 99% of the time, and there we saw him shine.
Patrick Sandell very sideways back there in third position. They come off the tarmac, they come onto the gravel for the first time of 6 in this 6-lapper. Over the jump they go, almost double bumping goes Faust, but look at the fight back from Patrick Sandell. The Swedish House Mafia continue here in Munich. He's up to second position, and now Scott Speed has got all the work to do to get into the top 2 and progress.
Patrick Sandell just flat over it over the jump, basically making a pass side by side with Scott Speed over the jump, which we haven't really seen before. And there goes Giga Spinelli through the Joker, and he's going to come out in front. So
Spinelli goes to that third position. He's running a very low pressure with those Coupe-Tards in the front of that Mitsubishi. It goes a little bit wide. He's going to have to take a very tight line. The door gets left open for Scott Speed, who needs no second invitation. Spinelli on the dirt and over the edge of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Tanner Faust, who did take the Joker at the end of that first lap, leads this race by a significant margin. 7 seconds ahead of Speed. That's enormous.
That Joker's good for a couple of seconds, I think. It looks so short, but it really is at least good for 3 or 4 car lengths, and it gives you a good advantage. If Tanner can stay out front, he's not going to have any of the muck in his windscreen, and he'll have a clear line for what he wants to race and be able to increase the lead every lap.
Maybe the data and timing wasn't quite working. Sandell is in second position. The top 2 will go through to the final, and at the moment it's Tanner Faust and Patrick Sandell. There is Sandell. He's an ultra-cool Swede. He knows a thing or two. He's junior world rally champion. And when I asked him what it was like to rally on the dirt of this race course, and would it compare to, say, Rally New Zealand? Would it compare to Wales for Rally GB, for example? And he said there's nothing that actually stands out. It is absolutely individual, the conditions that we've got here in Munich.
It's a rallycross course using a gravel road base, which is very unusual for rallycross. I'm sure he's encountered this kind of dirt before, but it was laid in this week, so it's like a road that was made this week. Both the asphalt and the gravel were both put in here this week, and both are slippery, brand new asphalt. You know, if you've driven on it before, that can be slick stuff.
And it's raining. It's not raining too hard here, but it's very blowy, and it's a very drizzly kind of rain that we've got here, but it's no problem at all for Tanner Faust, who salutes it sideways as he makes his way round to complete this lap 4 of 6. Over the line he goes, 2 more circulations to go. If you're following him on Twitter or on Instagram, you'll know that he's driving all of the time, and Jen, that's so important. Whatever car you're driving, whether or not it's a McLaren new road car, or a Lamborghini, or a stunt vehicle for one of the Hollywood films, he's always in a driver's seat 7 days a week.
Yeah, and he does a lot of rallycross. He just took a win in Finland recently in the European Rallycross Championship, and also he was telling me he did for a TV show he's working on, he did a rally stage for the first time in a long time, and perhaps that experience on a gravel road is helping him out here.
It certainly is. Just a lap and a corner to go for Tanner Faust. He's the reigning global rallycross champion, and he really is hand in glove with the new Ford Fiesta ST that he had for Foz do Iguaçu, and he was so unlucky at Foz do Iguaçu. Last time we saw these cars racing, when he was punted off the racetrack at the first corner, it was a mess. It was a ball of dust, and 10 cars tried to go from really a space where maybe only 3 cars could fit into. But Patrick Sandel's doing well. He's new into Global Rallycross for 2013, and at the moment, Jen, he's going through to the final.
In second, if he can hold it there, it's amazing to watch the front wheels of these cars as these guys steer, counter steer, steer, counter steer. You can really see how slick it is watching all the work they're doing with their hands.
Here comes Tanner Faust to complete this Heat 2. He is the winner of the second heat, and he brilliantly comes across the line out of sight of the second place man, the Swede, Patrick Sandell, who automatically, with Faust, goes through to the 10-car final here at X Games Munich. Third across the line, Scott Speed. He will have an opportunity to go through to the final, but first off, he's got to go through the L